Alright, this is my first time doing a screen record for Minecraft for my friend Matt. So I'm going to give you a tour and history of the Minecraft server that my brothers and I and a couple of our friends play on and have been playing on for the last month. So right now we are inside the Great Northern, which is a spruce wood multi-floor structure that we all started on. So we started in a snowy environment here, and we didn't have any resources, so we built this place as a shelter slowly over time. And this used to be my room, although we've moved on from it, as you'll see shortly. So this is the top floor of the Great Northern. This is the main floor of the Great Northern. On it we have our storage chests from early on. We have a map where we did most of our exploring of the world. You can see we are in the center of the map there. And then up there in the center of the screen, you'll see that little brown speck is actually the village that we built up that we all live at today. Just one second. So we go into here, and this was our cafeteria that my brother was kind enough to build, as well as our kitchen. So we had a full operational kitchen along with a refrigerator and a pantry. As you can see, nobody really lives here anymore, but for a time this was our refuge. This was a bedroom, although I think it's been cleared out now since people moved. And we also had a waterfall side eating area with a nice view of the place where we lived. That structure in the distance is a church that my brother built. We do have a religion in this Minecraft server. Tom was very insistent that we have a church. This here is a nether portal. I'm not going to get into it, but it's basically a portal to hell. And this was our first library. It reads, "Here are enshrined the longing of great hearts, and noble things that tower above the tide. The magic world that winged wonder starts, the garnered wisdom that has never died." I built this library. It was actually my early project, and those of you who are Brooklyn heads may recognize that as the writing on the front of the Brooklyn Public Library. Yeah, there's a crafting element to this game where people can use books to enchant armor, which was really big early on in the game for protection, so I built this library for that purpose. But as you'll see, we later on invented capitalism and mass production, so we no longer really are required to build our own armor from scratch. The magic has left this world, unfortunately. So as we exit the Great Northern, I do kind of want you to get a sense of the scale of this glorious structure, so I'm just going to kind of do a backup view of it. It's really very, very pretty building. Over here was our farm. So in the early days, this is where we got food so we didn't starve to death. And one of my first projects was actually learning to grow sugarcane. See, we lived in a snow biome, which was really challenging because sugarcane only grows in tropical biomes. So I actually had to import a little bit of sugarcane and then slowly proliferate it. And I got the water warm enough, actually, by heating it up with these little bonfires. So this was actually a big deal because sugarcane was used in the production of books. So it had a very early role in our economy because we needed books to build libraries to enchant armor. And so this sugarcane mill was one of my first achievements. Out here, this was James's farm. Much of the produce was used by Thomas to feed us in the early days. As we get out to here, hopefully he's still here. This is Bahram Yu. He's facing the wrong way, but he is our noble pooch. So he protected us in the early days, and he still watches guard over the old fortress. These are our cows. There used to be a ton of them, which is why the cage was so big, but their numbers have dwindled. And I'll show you real quick. So when James discovered the village that we eventually went on to colonize, right around that time we were still all living here, and Tom put a whole bunch of effort into building a lumber yard as well as a mine. Unfortunately for him, we all moved on to a village right around that time, so the lumberyard was not used as much as we thought it would be, but it's still really impressive to check out, and he put a lot of effort into it. So that's his mining company. Still operational, I believe, Golden Apple Mining Company. And this structure here is his lumberyard, Golden Apple Lumber Co. So the problem is all the wood in this area was made out of spruce, which has a very different look than the wood that was in the village that we came to inhabit. So unfortunately, all this spruce wood that he went through the trouble of mining and chopping down has not been as useful as we had hoped. The sun is going down, but before it does, I would like to show you... Oop, I lost connection. Let's go back real quick. Oop. Let's try that again. Lost connection to the server there. It happens from time to time. Before the sun goes down, I would maybe like to show you his woodland mansion because it is a really cool thing. I feel bad that he built all this stuff so far away from what eventually became kind of the main city, but it is definitely worth checking out. So we're going to go over to his woodland mansion real quick before the sun goes down. So this is just the beginning. This is where it all started, this area here. But after nightfall, we're going to head out on a train to the city of Placentia, which ended up being our main base of operations, and you'll see how much work has gone into this server over the last couple weeks. So this is Thomas's private mansion. Again, it's kind of out of the way, but it has a gorgeous view of what we call the Glass Sea. And we call it the Glass Sea because obviously there's a ton of ice floating in it. It can be a little treacherous. There's some chunks that haven't loaded, but on the other end of that sea is actually a tropical region that we have only just begun to explore. So we got a lot of work ahead of us. Anyway, I'm gonna put a break in the video now because I don't want to show you the server at night because it's harder to see. So the video is going to end here, and then we're going to have a jump break over the next one.